Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So what I want to do today is talk about my Galaxy Tab S7 Plus here. Sorry, this is the back plate that holds my my S Pen to the tablet. But here's the thing, I use this for note taking. You know, this is my main tablet for note taking, and even though I do indeed have an iPad Pro with the second generation Apple Pencil, I still much prefer to use my tab for my note taking. And by the way, really quick, if you are interested in getting any of these kind of skins for your devices, such as this Black Panther Marvel skin, feel free to go to skinit.com. That's where I get all of mine. I really enjoy their skins, and I think you will too. Also, Chadwick, rest in peace. But anyway, with that being said, I do want to go into how I take notes on here, and keep in mind, the way I take notes whenever I'm studying for something, it's the exact same way if I do it digitally that I would do it physically, and I've been doing the same type of note-taking style, so to speak, since like forever. The only difference I do that I have on here is the fact that I do some color coordination when the time comes to it, but aside from that, everything's been the same. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so to start things off, I use Note Shelf. Now, Note Shelf came pre-installed in the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, which is why I've been using it for my note-taking. Now, any note-taking app will work, just find the one that works for you, you know, one that has like highlighting features, you can import stuff, you can send the documents, maybe you want them to sync across all of your devices. Pick whichever can do whatever it is that you want. I'm using, again, Note Shelf because it came pre-installed. Now, we're gonna go in and we're gonna start right here. So now here's the thing. I'm learning Korean, right? So that's mainly what I've been doing. I'm also learning Portuguese, but Portuguese hasn't been in this particular notebook that I'm using. So what I'm gonna start off with is the way I've been learning Korean. So what I do is on the top right here, I have my date. Now I always date my notes whenever I'm starting to write again. One, it helps me keep separation between days of what like my writing was about. But then other than that, it's just good to reference. It's good to remember what day you practiced this so you know to do it later, you know, the usual stuff. All right, so on the top right, we have the dates. Now, usually in the center, I go ahead and just give myself whatever topic that I wanted to practice today. So let's say, for example, I want to do my constants and the vowels. So I'm going to just type right here. Now, because this is the topic and the idea of what it is that I'm going to study, I always underline it. And I usually would either put a box instead of underline, but for this purpose, I'm going to underline it as well as highlight it. Reason for that is because this notebook allows me to use colors, I'm going to try to tell myself to do that just for visual sake. But typically, if I'm writing in a regular notebook, I just underline or square it. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to write my stuff down, and then I'll talk about it when I'm done. You'll see. Okay, so let's say I have it written down, right? So now that I have everything written, I highlight, for example, since I'm learning the constants and the vowels, I highlight those. And in particular, I've been trying to do yellow for the constants, and then for the vowels, I do red. Reason for that, so anytime I go through my notes and I see those specific colors, I know what those colors are referencing, but then it also helps me memorize what it is, or how these, you know, these characters look. You know, when you're learning a new language, it's easier to find a way to differentiate between a specific thing through another, whether that's color coordination like it is for me because I am such a visual learner, or whatever method that works for you guys. But now another thing, and it's subtle, but what I also do too is I try to make sure that I leave gaps, such as this imaginary line. Let's say I wrote this line originally. I make sure I leave a gap between sections, even sub-little sections, because in my mind, the way I see it is, I want to have this group, oh my goodness, there you go. I want to have this thing separated from this, right? And now let's say that I was gonna write something right underneath this. So what I would do is leave this spacing and go down one, and then I would write the next thing. So hello. This is sloppy. Wow, this is really sloppy. I promise I write better than this. But yeah, so let's say, you know, I go from there, I go to this sentence, and now let's say this sentence has something to do with the sentence underneath it. This is continuing. If that's the case, then I make sure to keep them together. But now let's say my next sentence, so let's say I started writing like my name in Korean. So if I wanted to write Tony, let's say, you know, I just do To and ni. So if I wanted to now keep this separated from the English, I again leave a space, but then now I will also highlight what it is that or my characters here for Korean. So again, that way, as I quickly skim through my notes, I remember, oh, yellow, so this was Korean, what did I write there? And then I know that I wrote Tony, or for Korean, it wouldn't be a Y, it would be an I, but you get the idea. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a couple notes that I've taken in the past so you can see what I'm talking about. So for example, here, you know, I have me practicing certain words, so you can see the way I did it. So like I have words here written out, I have my Korean highlighted, I try to write underneath what it is that they're saying, and then practice reading words. You can see that like I've highlighted again the Korean. If I go to this next page, one thing you'll notice here specifically that I tried doing is I tried to make sure that I use colors to help separate again what I'm reading. So here I know what I'm reading is basically the vowels. So if I go through my notes here, you'll notice that yeah, I'm just reading the vowels here. It's what I was practicing for the day. So yeah, that's again how I use colors to separate things for myself. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and just go back. You know, I'm gonna go back little by little. Feel free to pause, see how I did things. You can see how I'm trying to keep things separate. Whenever I had a quiz or something that I was practicing, I tried my best to write as neatly as possible, but you'll see the separation I did between each note. Anytime you see my date on the top right corner, because that just shows when the previous or next day started, and until you see the date again, that's how many notes I wrote on that particular day, which again helps me for organization. Wow, you can also notice the difference and how my note taking has evolved. Like I definitely would have highlighted this right here. I'd highlight these as well. Why? Because that is what my brain wants to see. It wants to remember which symbols or characters are the Koreans. And quite honestly, I mean, that's essentially how I take notes, you know, like I try to separate titles, I try to keep things kind of clean, I color coordinate. You know, the best thing about using the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus too is how low the latency is and how well it feels writing. That's why this is actually my main note-taking device, because I just love the way it feels on this device. Do I recommend this? Would I say like this is for everybody? No, I mean, anyone can take notes in any way. I have this available to me, so I want to use it, and I love the way it feels when I write. Hence why I use this, aside from my iPad Pro here. But again, it depends on you, what it is that you're looking for. And quite honestly, you don't need a tablet to take notes. You can take notes with anything. Don't feel like you need this and this is gonna take it to the next level. It depends on you. But alright, thank you guys for watching that video. Hopefully you guys learned something new. Again, the way I take notes, it isn't like so complicated. It's pretty simple, I think. But you know, if there's a way that you can structure yourself based on the way that I do it, feel free. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching the video. And if you are new, feel free to subscribe for more future videos. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a like so that YouTube algorithm knows that I'm doing a pretty decent job. And if you have anything to say, leave it down in the comment section. But above all, guys, stay safe, stay clean, make good decisions, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.